Welcome to the show. Now please strap in for the truth and remember the words of the great Tom Cruise.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
Now welcome to Off Topic on Porn.
All right. Well, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever this finds you. This is a very special episode of Off Topic on Point because Russell and I happen to be in the same room. Although there's that red dividing line you see right there, we are actually in the same room. Russell can reach over right here, and you can see his hand was almost in my face. So he is back from Camp Shoshana, and he is staying with me and my family. And actually, the house is full because my brother and sister-in-law, my nieces and nephews, are all here. So if you hear that in the background, just know that it is a full house here. So anyway, Russell, good to have you in the house.
Good to be here. It's great to be here, actually. I love this.
So yeah, it's going to be nice to be able to sit across from each other, look at each other, talk, and not just have to stare at a screen, you know.
Absolutely.
So how was Camp Shoshana?
Well, it was quite good. It always is.
Yeah.
Actually, this year there was a little rain. There's almost always rain. It's kind of like here, where you are.
Yep.
It's almost always some kind of rain coming in.
Yep.
But there it was fairly minimal this week. It was
Okay.
It was pretty good weather. A lot of good teaching. A lot of people there this time. And now Arnold Fruchtenbaum hurt his foot several weeks ago, so he's back in San Antonio, which he doesn't like the idea that he's not out there at camp because his heart is absolutely attached to that place.
Oh yeah.
But Dr. Tim Sigler, who is the new CEO there,
Yes.
of Ariel Ministries and of Camp Shoshana and all, he did a fabulous job.
Cheers for Tim.
Yeah, absolutely. So very good week.
All right. Well, it's good. I'm glad. So any stories you want to communicate from the road? Anything weird or anything interesting happen on the road?
I think we talked about what happened to me in Arkansas.
Yes.
On the way out.
Yes, on the
there.
way out here. Yeah.
And I will say on the way back, there were like 3 different major traffic jams. Fortunately for me, they were on the other side of the highway.
Okay.
But I couldn't help but feel bad. I think one of them involved a cyclist going between two 18-wheelers.
Man, Lord be with them.
And I mean,
please.
man, yeah, you know, you guys that ride the Harleys and all that, I mean, I love y'all and have Harley friends. And I
Please
think
be
most of you
careful.
are really responsible. And those of you that ride the other brand of bikes and so forth, please don't be playing the in and out game.
Yeah, the in and out game, yeah.
The swerving and all that.
Oh,
and trying
man,
to get
yeah,
in between cars
absolutely.
and all. That is suicide. And,
Yeah, man. Please be
I
careful.
understand being frustrated, but you know, we're sitting there in our 4-wheelers and we're frustrated too at the
Yeah,
traffic.
absolutely.
But golly, you guys are so unprotected, and I know most of you know that. I'm addressing maybe 1%, but it's that 1% that just
Yeah.
imperil themselves.
Oh
you know?
my goodness. Yeah.
It's like the guys that in the 4-wheelers that drag race and stuff
Yeah.
like that. It's like that is so. Well, I'm just going to say
Unsafe.
it's idiotic.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just unsafe
Yeah.
to take your and other people's lives into your hands
Yeah.
that way. It's just so unnecessary.
Absolutely.
Okay, that was a sermon for the
That was a
day.
sermon of safety for
Yeah.
all of you motorcyclists. We love you.
Maybe
Please
that
be
was
safe.
Maybe a rant is a better way to put
A
it.
little rant, but a safety rant.
There you go.
That's our safety
Safety
rant for the day.
That's it.
Please be safe. We want you to all get home to your families and
Absolutely.
be safe and enjoy that wind through your hair. So yeah, but and speaking of travel, when my sister-in-law was coming up, she had an interesting because there was a huge wreck on 81, and so she called me because Google was overrun because 81 got shut down because 2 tankers two 18-wheelers hit each other, and then there was another couple cars, and it totally shut down 81. So it was rerouting everybody.
Wow.
And my brother-in-law, who's a trucker, was saying that a lot of times what happens is Google will get overrun with everyone rerouting and rerouting and rerouting. So she was on the Blue Ridge Parkway going, okay, well, we're almost there. Because of all the storms we've had, a tree fell across the
Oh my goodness.
parkway.
Yeah.
So then she had to come back So then she gets lost, and so she's calling me, and she's like, it's telling me to go the wrong way. Where am I? I don't know. So it was one of those things where she shared her location with me, but it was really, you remember those in the olden days, where you'd read a map and say, hey, you're going to come up
Yeah.
onto this road and turn left. Well,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
tracking her, and I'm in the map, opening it, closing it. I'm like, okay, so you're going to come up to a road, take the next left. So I became Siri. In 20 minutes, take the next left.
This is why I carry
Yeah.
a road atlas
Yes.
in my car,
Yeah.
because I am from the old school,
Right.
and I used to get around the country that way.
Yeah.
With a road map or with maps and an atlas.
Absolutely.
And so I recommend that. Just get an
Yeah.
atlas. You don't have to buy a new one every year. I know they come out with an updated one
Oh,
every
yeah.
year. Rand McNally and some of these other
Yeah.
ones. But just get one. They're all reliable. And you can stick with it for several years.
You
don't
really
have
can,
to buy
yeah.
one. You're not a trucker. You don't
No.
you
Yeah.
don't have to have a brand new one every year. But especially if you're sticking to the main thoroughfares.
Right.
But it's very helpful to have that and to learn how to use
Oh.
it.
Yeah.
to
Absolutely.
read a map.
Yeah. Well, and what's interesting too is, my sister-in-law was in, and if you don't know how to read maps, if you're just so focused on, well, I'm going to go wherever the GPS tells me,
Right.
well, then you don't know how to look at a map and know which way you're going and know which way to go. And so it's interesting. I was following the dot, and she's going this way. I'm like, nope, turn around. We got to go, go the other
That's
way.
awesome.
Yeah. So it was really one of those things. And my nephew was in the front seat, and he's a really good kid. And both, all of my three nieces and my nephew, they're great kids. I love them dearly. And, but I was like, hey man, so here's what I need you to do. So I was like, cause she was like, a 4-hour trip turned into a 7-hour trip because
Yeah.
of weather, because of all the accidents and all the delays. And she was like, I just want to get there and be done. But it was so interesting, to have to, in a sense, read a map on a phone.
Yeah.
Because the GPS was just, Google Maps was not working on that day. And so I think it was just really interesting, to say, okay, well, we're going to have to read a map, and I'm going to have to direct you. And my brother-in-law's a trucker, and my nephew has his dad's ability to read maps. And so him and I were talking. He's like, okay, I think I can go here. Are we going to go here? We're going to do this. And he's a really good navigator. And so him and I eventually got them, as you know, because when you walked in, you met them, saw them, and talked to them. They made it, but it was so just, wow, what a trial and travail for them to get here. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But they made it, so it was interesting. And so it was, again, going back to the thing we said to the people on the Harley Davidsons, whoever it is, please, be safe, get home, go the speed limit, use your blinkers.
Yeah.
All those things, especially, do it all the time, but especially in inclement weather, make sure you're using those blinkers, given that space, and, don't take those chances. You're not going to make up, I was thinking about that. You're not going to really make up that much time if you just pass that person.
Yeah.
A lot of you wait for the opening, wait for the safety, and then you can, where it's safe and you can do it. And then you'll probably end up being able to get there and kind of do that stuff. So anyway, I think that's our safety rant number 2 for all of you people. Get there.
Absolutely.
We want everybody to be safe, and there's been storms. So, yeah. So anyway, what else is happening? So we talked about Shoshana.
Yes.
And we talked about the classes. How was the food, by the way?
Oh.
The food usually there.
Very healthy.
Very healthy.
Yes.
So okay, good Shabbat meal. What'd you guys have for Shabbat? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was a roast. It was some kind of roast cow. I can't remember. To me, I don't distinguish too easily. It's like, oh, good, there's beef. I'm there.
Well, yeah, no.
And there's there was a salad and
Yeah.
some kind of a potato concoction. It was good. It was. They always serve something excellent at the Shabbat dinner.
And with Dr. Fruchtenbaum gone, it probably was nice because you didn't have to worry about getting caught mid-chew. For those of you who don't know, let us let you in on a secret with Dr. Arnold Fruchtenbaum. He likes to go around and take pictures during the meal, but you don't get a chance to pose and, nicely wave and say, hey, how's it going, or whatever. He gets you like sticking a fork in your mouth with your mouth wide open, or in mid-chew,
Yes.
or with your mouth like full, so he likes those extremely candid photos. So
Yeah.
with him gone, I guess it was easier to
I don't
eat.
know. We'll see. Because I don't know who all was taking pictures. So I guess we'll just find out. I was just there for the food and fellowship.
That's right.
And
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
Teaching.
So
And the relaxation and the Adirondack Mountains and
yeah.
so
Oh,
forth.
and those mountains are
Oh, yeah.
gorgeous. I bet it was just,
Yes.
of course, even with the weather, if it was raining, I mean, the clouds coming in and coming over those mountains is gorgeous. When we were there, it was
Absolutely.
beautiful. So, anyway, well, real quick break and a segue for everybody. But to let you know, we have our first sponsor. So
Hey.
yeah, so for all of you, Mountain Mowers LLC, Lawnscaping, um, they're a sponsor of our show. If you need, and if you're in the Galax area in Virginia, the Blue Ridge area, give them a call, 276-730-8230. They are great. They'll give you a good quote, give you a good price, and then they will get the job done. So give them a call, Mountain Mowers LLC, Lawnscaping. They will get your lawn looking good. So, and they will keep it looking good. So give them a call today and get your quote. So you'll be hearing more about them in the future, but they are a partner with us. So we have a sponsor.
Man, that is outstanding. And in this area here, I noticed that someone who can mow lawns in a mountainous area is probably a really good service to have
Yeah.
in this area. Now, if we had somebody like that in San Antonio, it'd probably be Flatlands Mower.
Yeah,
Or
probably.
something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, well, yeah, because it's so mountainous here. So
But we probably ought to see if we can get some kind of a sponsor like that down in the San Antonio area. This is
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yep.
I'm excited to find out about this tonight.
yeah, absolutely. So this is a friend of mine who goes to our church, and
Okay.
so him and I were talking, and I talked to him about our podcast, and he listens, and so we were talking, and so he likes the show, and
Yeah.
so he's like, hey, you know what? How about we work a deal? And so, you and I both have we have rules with how we live, and we have to be able to believe in what we support and
Yes.
everything else. And this guy, he is true blue. He's the kind of guy that if we say, hey, you know what, we can believe in putting our faith in this person, we can put our stamp on him. He is one of those people he's going to treat you right. And that doesn't mean he's going to do it for free, but he's going to give you an honest price. And then he's also going to give you what you're paying for. So, he very, very biblical in the stance of, do what you say you're going to do, be fair and honest in all your dealings. And so just a really quality individual. So yeah,
I look
really
forward to
excited to
meeting him.
partner with them. Yeah, absolutely. And so it's going to be I think it's going to be a really good and beneficial partnership. So looking forward to a long relationship with
All right.
Mountain Mowers.
Well,
So,
nice job, Rob. That's
Thanks.
I guess you earned your pay for the week.
So anyway, yeah, so that's that's our new partner, and that's so we've got that, and so we're excited about that, and how things are going there. So yeah. So anyway,
Very good.
yep. So, and again, if you want no more information, or you need to hear, you can, rewind and get the number, or you can, like, comment, ask questions in the comments, subscribe, tell your friends, obviously, for us, but, also, check it out, give them a call. So, always, that helps us out when you help our partners out. So,
Indeed. Yeah. Absolutely.
so, but yeah. So anyway, and later this week, because you are here at the house, We will be recording the special episode where we are having it's our own nod to crossovers.
Yes.
So we will be having the crossover with my sons will be on the podcast, and they have their own podcast. So
Yes.
they have a podcast called the Lighthouse Sessions,
Yeah.
and the Lighthouse Sessions will be crossing over with Off Topic on Point, and we will be discussing different genres of TV. Specifically, probably we'll go through Star Wars and Star Trek, but because it's Off Topic on Point, there's no telling where we will go, and especially with those two, it could
Yeah.
go all sorts of different
Well,
places. So I'm really excited
I've
about
got
that.
kind of a history myself of watching sci-fi stuff,
Yes.
reading sci-fi
Oh
stuff,
yeah, absolutely.
going back into the 60s. So, you know,
Yeah, and they've read a lot of the Star Wars books, the books themselves, and
Yeah.
so they have. Let me say, and you know this because you've known them for a very long time. They have definite opinions,
Good.
and they will. They're like, to quote that old hymn, they're like a tree that's planted by the water; they shall not
Oh,
be
okay.
moved. Even sometimes I think when they should be moved off
So-
of their point, they probably will not be. So
The adage that I would throw into that is, if you're going to be that rigid, make sure you are right and not
That's
just thinking
correct.
you're right.
now remember when
Because
you
you're planning yourself in error if you do
That's
that.
correct. And so luckily they're pretty good about moving off their point if they're wrong, but they definitely have opinions, which
Yeah,
they
we
get
all do.
right. Which I always say, and it always gets me an eye roll. They get from their mother because I am just a delightful person. I don't.
Well, yes, of
You know,
course.
so-
we all know this. You do not have hard opinions. on
No,
anything.
absolutely. No, I'm fluid. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
don't.
oh, yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's
you're,
just
you're fluid. Yes.
that's just me. I go with the flow, and I don't plant my flag and die on any. That's
Yeah,
not
uh-huh,
true at all.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
no,
my
but,
nose, I gotta shave it back for my part in all of this.
So yeah, and hey, I was reading. We'll go into kind of a little bit of a news discussion here.
Uh-huh.
I was reading that it looks like in Texas, Democrats are fleeing Texas to stop a redistricting vote.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, they pulled that. I'm sorry for those of you that I know that are in that party, but you know what? You really need to get your politicians to stop doing that kind of stuff. That is so childish. Yeah, they'll do stuff like running to Oklahoma. And
well, they're running to
we're not-
Chicago. It
Oh,
would
they're-
appear.
now they're going to Chicago.
Yeah, they're going to have a press
because
conference with the
Oklahoma
mayor.
probably doesn't want them at this point.
Probably not. So
Yeah.
I just thought it was interesting. And again, you know what I think is interesting, and we try to be fair and balanced in the
Yes,
sense of
we do.
I think it's just interesting that both parties do this. So right now, the Republicans are going to scream and cry, or not? Excuse me. The Democrats are going to scream and cry because Republicans are doing this, and so they're
Yeah.
going to run away.
Yeah.
Now, if the Republicans do this, they will then scream and cry, "Hey, you can't do that," and the Republicans are now going to say, "You can't do that."
Yeah. It's not quite like that though. Not
Yeah.
from my perspective. Here's how it really happened. Because it's not like they're in perfect symmetry party to party.
No, they're not.
The
but
reason that some people lean conservative is because they have certain character
they do.
traits that are indigenous to what it means to be that. In other words, you're not a conservative and then you develop these things.
Right.
You have a certain way that
Character,
you
yeah.
do, character way that you are, and
Sure.
then your conservatism comes forth from that.
Yeah.
Same thing with those that have are of a more liberal mindset. Now
True.
you have some people that balance and mitigate
Sure.
between those in the middle, but it's not that many in my estimation.
True. Yeah.
So what happens is the people, like you just identified,
Yeah.
that are on the left, they're gonna flee
They are.
because they don't want the redistricting to happen.
Sure.
Okay, but if they're the ones drawing the lines,
Sure. It's okay.
if the conservatives were to leave, they would get all
Yes.
the leftists would get all sanctimonious about it, like they're doing the work of righteousness.
Yeah.
And the other guys are
Absolutely.
fleeing because they're not. In other words, they're right no matter what they do. So when
Right.
they're pulling the shenanigan, that's right.
Yeah.
But when it benefits them to do the other thing that the conservatives are doing,
Yeah.
then that's right.
Yeah.
And it's all because they have an agenda to push, right?
Sure. No, absolutely.
And I know people say, well, it's like that on the right. No, it is not like that on the right. It is true of the people on the left in a way that it is not true of anybody else.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
Yeah,
It just
and I'm perfectly willing to field challenges on that.
So comment if you'd like to challenge
Yeah,
Russell.
please
You can
do.
go ahead and put it in the comments, and he will go ahead and he will respond.
Well,
Do me a
somebody
fa-
will. I'll decide
Or look-
whether it's worth my time to respond to your comment.
Let
Sorry.
me just say this.
My friends, I'll respond to.
OTOP now at gmail.com. Russell will be handling the responses to those. I'm not even forwarding them. I'm just going to let Russell handle
Yeah.
it. So,
or else my designee will.
or whoever Russell
Yeah.
designates as his respondent. So yeah, no, it's it's one of those things to me where I wish that we could just all kind of, in a sense, we've lost the ability to sit down and have a cup of coffee.
Oh
And
yeah.
disagree.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wish we could just sit down, and it's okay. I really, it's not, it isn't in a way, but I really wish that we could just have the ability to sit down and have discourse
Yes.
and agree if we have to disagree.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to disagree with me, I mean, it's your right. I mean, we live in this glorious country where you have the right to disagree with me,
Yeah.
but not to the point where I don't have the right to
Yeah.
hold my belief,
There-
and you should be able to hold yours.
There's hardly, if I could put it a different way,
Yeah.
because I think you're right. There's hardly any legitimate reason for jettisoning relationships
Yes.
over issues.
Absolutely.
Hardly any real good reason for that. But we've seen a lot of that in recent years.
Yeah,
too.
absolutely, absolutely. I wish we could just be able to go to restart that ability to have calm, rational discourse.
Yeah.
And a lot, because again, as much as at times I disagree with different points of view, I still would hope that I could at least find, not maybe on that issue, but something where we could at least have a conversation cordially, at common human decency, and say, let's at least be able to have a cup of, I don't drink coffee, but you know what I'm saying.
You need to start.
maybe that's what we'll do on this. We'll see. We can, there you go. Comment if you'd like to see me drink a cup of coffee on the air. So we'll see what we can get. But I think we do need to really go back to the ability to say, you know what, I want to at least be able to have a conversation, and I may not agree with you, but I'd at least like to understand.
Yeah.
And part of that means being able to communicate why you believe, or
Yes.
why, and not just because I'm anti, and that goes for me too, not just because I'm anti that guy. Why do I believe what I believe? Why do I hold the position
Right.
that I hold? And I think that's incumbent upon us to understand the reason that we hold the beliefs that we do, whether that
Yeah.
be spiritually, emotionally, politically, whatever it is.
Any reason.
Any reason. You
Yeah.
should know the reason you hold the belief that you do. And it's not because my buddy does or because somebody I respect and I know does. You need to know
Well-
why I believe that.
So one thing people need to be aware of, and by the way, it isn't, I know it looks like it, but it really is not the case that in every arena of thought, there's this monolithic way that people on the left look at it and another
Right.
monolithic way that people on the right look at things. For example, let's take a couple of weeks ago, we did the two podcasts
Yes.
on the issue about Israel and
Right.
whether the land is theirs and so forth, right?
Right. Yep.
You've got, I don't know, I'm just going to roughly guess about half of the people on the liberal left
Yeah.
who are pro-Israel and half that are
Sure.
against them. And you have about the same ratio on the right.
Yeah.
It's
absolutely.
bizarre.
It really is.
And so there are people on the left that I would align with
Yeah.
very comfortably and do align. I love, for example, the works by Dr. Alan Dershowitz.
Yeah.
He has some of the best literature out there on Israel's right to exist
Yeah.
and their right to the land. Now, I don't agree with him on the the two-state solution. I don't think that that's a possibility.
Right.
Because I don't think that the people that are not Israel
Right.
that are in the conflict will ever agree to that.
Right. No, I
That's
agree.
that's kind of a liberal. Here you go. That's a liberal left United Nations concept
Sure.
that they're trying to foist upon Israel, and ironically, Israel is amicable to the idea. It's the other guys that aren't, and it's
Yeah.
like there's this unwillingness to recognize that. But all that aside, there is a common view, either left or right, that some people have an agreement with each other that aren't characteristically in agreement on other things.
Right.
Whether that's pro or con, right?
No, absolutely.
And so that's one example. There are others.
Yeah.
That's one example of where people can get together on an issue just because they disagree on other issues.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And there's just to prove that point. There are people on the right that agree, or excuse me, that disagree with Israel and our stance on Israel, and it baffles me, and so it was interesting. My youngest came home and asked me a question, and one of his friends was pro-Palestinian, and I said, okay. I said, did they give you a reason? And the reason was, well, because somebody famous that they like is.
Which is probably one of the worst reasons in the world.
Now, granted,
I like it because he likes it.
right.
It's not
There's
a good
very
reason.
they're young, and so I
Yeah.
just was like, okay,
It's
well,
not an excuse.
it's
If you're
not an
going to
excuse, but
proffer
yeah.
an opinion, then
Right.
you are responsible
For your opinion.
for doing what you need to do to make sure that is the proper perspective.
And not to come down on teachers, but and I just told him, I said, look, just what we need to do is just be kind and loving, and it's fine. But what it let him know was, you need to make sure you understand why you, in any situation, believe what you believe, because otherwise we're doing the same. We can get mad about it, but then we become exactly what we're mad about. And that's something I think we've also lost. We start pointing, that's wrong, and I hate it when people do that, and then we
Yes,
do the
that's
exact same
right.
thing. And I think that's just something we need to be really careful about. You know what I'm saying? We need to be better about not becoming that which we are angry about. You know
Can I
what I'm
tell
saying?
you something that really drives me crazy about conservatives?
Yeah.
Since I are one.
Go ahead.
Okay, so you look, generally speaking, here in
Yeah.
this country, on the left,
Yeah.
they may fight and bicker about things, but when it counts,
Yeah.
they come together like
Oh,
cohesive glue.
hey, the left will do it. Oh, they do all the time. Yes, absolutely.
On the right, people are so
Oh my gosh,
self-righteous
yes.
and sanctimonious sometimes.
They couldn't.
Yes, I'm talking to you, my colleagues and friends. They're
Yes.
so sanctimonious
Yes.
that you can literally have 100 things, 100 issues that we're all together on.
Yeah.
99 of those issues
Yep.
go the way we all want. One of them doesn't go for now
Yeah.
that way.
Oh yeah.
And there's a certain group of conservatives that will say, well, I'm not supporting whoever the person
Whatever
is.
it is.
No
yeah,
more.
absolutely.
Wait a minute. You got 99% of
Yeah.
what you wanted here.
Oh yeah.
And this one thing, we can keep working on it. But no, it's got to be
Oh.
just like you say, or
Yeah.
you're gonna pull, you and your buddies are gonna pull your support out.
Yeah.
Let the house of cards, it's not even really a house of cards, but let the
Right.
structure fall and let
Absolutely.
the other guys come in and destroy. Well,
Yeah.
you're responsible. Let me just preach again. You're responsible for the destruction that comes by the other guys because you help them
Absolutely.
get in when you take that kind of a ridiculous posture.
You really do, and it's
And
one
that's
of
what
those.
I can't stand about a lot of conservatives.
I'm the same way. It's amazing to me. I am not. I am a fan of this when it comes to the left. They have a suck it up and drive
Yeah.
mentality, and
Yeah.
when one of theirs gets out of line, boy,
It's an
they look at him and go, look, here's what you're gonna do, and they give them their marching orders, and you know what? That person will take those marching orders. They'll
Yeah,
suck it up and drive. They don't like
they
it.
all will, and that's the point.
They all do it,
They-
and they fall in line. And you know what? They get things. I don't agree with the agenda. I don't like the
No,
agenda, but they get things done.
They get their foul agenda done.
They do.
They're an example to us all.
They
in that
are.
regard.
Look,
Yes.
sometimes you got to swallow your pride. You got to swallow your whatever to get it. For the greater agenda that your party or your movement is trying to achieve.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's interesting. But anyway,
Well, I guess we got
That's our-
some of our thoughts known on that tonight, didn't we?
we got our issues out there, right? So, well, again, do us a favor if you would comment. Let us know where you are, where you're at. If you have questions, we'd love to hear from you. So do us a favor and comment, like, subscribe, and tell your friends. That also helps us out. And if you want to talk directly to us as well, you can always email us at otopnow@gmail.com. That's OTOP now, NOW @gmail.com. And remember, you don't have to be on topic. You can be off topic, but you always need to be on point. All right, everybody, have a great evening or have a great day or morning. It's been great being here with you. Russell, it's always great. It's awesome that you're with me here in the same room. And so we will, until next time, everybody, have a great day.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you for listening today to Off Topic On Point. We want to remind you of our email address if you'd like to contact us. It's otopnow@gmail.com. That's otopnow@gmail.com. And as always, we want to leave you with this. It's okay to be off topic. Just make sure you're always on point. All right. We'll catch you on the next episode. Bye-bye.